Hello, everyone. Good afternoon in Mauritius. We are the Sustainable Island Mauritius project. We are pleased to welcome you today to our first workshop on trends and local challenges. So before we move to the next opening sessions, we would like to ask you to turn off your microphone and video when you're not speaking, because we would like to record the session, so later we can post some of the recordings on YouTube so that everyone can follow even after the event takes place. So please turn off your microphone and video. And if you have any questions, please write it in the chat box, and we are going to collect your questions and try as much as possible to answer your questions in later session. And during the Q&A sessions, you can raise your hand and using the functions in the Zoom and unmute your microphone. And it's really a pleasure for us to present these workshops today. And I think I can give the floor now to you, Andreas. Thank you.
Also welcome, a big welcome from my side, because it's also really big pleasure for us to be back, at least virtually, with you all. We have been spending quite some time on the island together with a lead organization. But before we dive into the project, let us really go into the overview and the welcoming of the people behind this project. Katika, you might hand over to those giving the stage. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Andreas. And now, without further ado, I would like to give the floor or the screen to Mr. Lindsay Morvan. Lindsay is the Executive Director of Mauritius Tourism Authority, and MTA is our leading partner in this project consortium. We've been working together with Lindsay, but also with Darren since 2018, and we really appreciate these cooperations. Please, Lindsay, thank you.
Good afternoon, Andreas, Katika, Luis, and all members of the CSCP team. Welcome to all participants, and a special mention to all our local operators connected for this webinar. It is noted with the utmost satisfaction that these workshops organized by the Sustainable Island Mauritius project have drawn full house, and the targeted numbers have been reached very quickly after we have sent the invitation. These express interest and courageous in many ways and reassure us that our objective to transform the tourism industry into a sustainable model is being not only appreciated, but also widely followed by our local operators. Since March 2020, the tourism industry in Mauritius and in the world as a whole has faced a major turn with the appearance of the COVID-19. This pandemic has exposed our vulnerability and put us at ease with a dramatic drop in our tourist arrivals by nearly 99%. Government has, and rightly so, taken a drastic set of measures to prioritize health and safety of the population by closing the borders initially and progressively open them with an enforcement of quarantine. This initiative has helped the destination to be COVID safe for more than 9 months, thus allowing the population to live a relatively normal life free from the pandemic. However, since March 2021, there has been a resurgence of the pandemic. Moreover, out of the lessons learned and being better prepared, we are witnessing positive progress as the number of local cases is on the decline. More than 200,000 of our population are already vaccinated, and this number is earmarked to rise fast until we reach the desired herd immunity of some 750,000 by end of mid-2021. This certainly gives us hope for a start of return of the tourism industry by the end of the year. In the meantime, it is giving us an opportunity to review our tourism activities. As professionals, you are aware that our industry has evolved through time, and Mauritius is a well-appreciated destination by many. Through times, we have been able to review, amend, innovate, adapt to many challenges, and now is perhaps the opportunity to have a major impact on the tourism industry of tomorrow. The tourism industry has been piloting the SIM project since June 2018 and has since been in touch with many operators, assisting them in their sustainable journey to co-create and develop new and sustainable activities. Sustainable Island Mauritius has, however, been delayed since March 2020 for obvious reasons, and instead of the pleasure of meeting you personally for the workshop, we have decided to e-meet you to pursue our activities. During these 5 sessions of workshops, you will be provided tools and learnings from experts on how to better position your operations in adopting best sustainable practices. I here wish to thank warmly all the experts who have accepted to share their expertise during these forthcoming sessions. For my part, and on behalf of the Tourism Authority, I want to stress on the fact that sustainability is at top of our priorities. The MOFI framework is a complete set of guidelines that can be applied by all our licensees. Our wish would be that when we welcome our guests in the near future, we are able to propose a rejuvenated face of our Paradise Island. We therefore urge you to take the necessary steps to make Mauritius an internationally recognized destination in terms of green tourism. We know that reaching 100% sustainability is a quite long journey, and it necessitates time and investment. However, there are a few quick wins that anyone can dive into as soon as possible, namely go single plastic free in all our establishments as per the current laws, ensure that our closed environment is kept clean, well maintained and upgraded, consume local and propose local products to our guests in a view to supporting our local entrepreneur, innovate by avoiding activities with high carbon footprint, and shift to handprint activities that would impact less on the environment. Ensure that our consumption in energy and water is well monitored. Decrease our waste and look for alternative recycling opportunities while going digital as far as possible. Encourage the inclusion of the local communities in our business to ensure a sustainable development. Support NGOs who are already doing a fantastic job to recycle, reduce waste, and support the vulnerable communities. Dear colleagues, as a regulatory authority, our mandate is to ensure compliance with all the applicable legislations. We could have changed the existing policies straight away, but we are aware of the challenges that would have cropped up. A policy review is essential to include a fair dose of sustainability. The SIM project is so important to accompany us. I will therefore, so far we have provided, capacity to building to over 1,500 operators in various fields. Our target is to reach around 2,800 operators by the end of the project. We therefore still have progress to make, and I am confident that with the help of our experts of the CSCP and with our local partners, we shall be able to reach our goal. I wish to express a special acknowledgement to the EU for the unconditional support in this project, and I wish you all an enriching, fruitful, and inspiring session. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Lindsay, for the very heartfelt welcome to us, the organizers, as well as the participants. And now, before we move forward to the next opening remark, I would like to remind everyone here to rename yourself on the right top hand side of your videos, because then if you put your name and organization there, it would be easier for you to network among with other participants. So feel free if you would like to do so. We really encourage you. So now I would like to give the floor to our head of unit from CSCP, Patrick Bottermann, to give the opening remark. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kartika. Thank you very much, Lindsay, for your introductory words. I would like to continue and seize the opportunity and thank you all for the invitation that was handed out to me to introduce the CSCP a little bit in the forefront of this workshop and share my thoughts on the great opportunity that I believe is the project that you've been working on since 2018 in Mauritius. With regard to the CSCP, we are very proud to have the opportunity to work together with all of those already mentioned in the Mauritius project, because we believe that one way to mainstream sustainability is through experiences that you make yourself, and to see the opportunities that go along with sustainability. And one way of doing that is to experience it in an environment where you are visiting a beautiful place, a different place in the world, where you make different experiences than you might make at home. And as a tourist, you have the fantastic chance to do so. And the main theme of the CSCP, the Collaborating Center on Sustainable Consumption and Production, as we are named, is to provide this experience and to mainstream sustainability, bring it out from the niche to the mass market and to a big part of society. When we were founded in 2005 from the Wuppertal Institute on Climate, Environment and Energy in Germany and the United Nations Environmental Programme, this was exactly the idea to mainstream and scale sustainability. At that point in time, there were only few members in the team, 3 or 4. By now, we are around 50. We are a think and do tank that not only join thinkers on how sustainability can be put into practice, but we also accompany processes to implement these ideas and innovations with an international scope. And this can be mirrored very well in the meeting today, I think. Next slide, please. We're working with a lot of partners around the globe, from a very local level over to the national level and the regional and international level. And our approach is to bring everybody that has a role to play, all the actors that are important to reach sustainability in a certain region, in a certain destination, or in a certain organization or business together, in order to share their wisdom and bring forward ideas that make us, or that enable us to live in a more sustainable world. Next slide, please. Some of the topics that we've been looking at the past years and almost past decades, you see here: climate change, circular economy, mobility, skills that you need for the future, digitalization where it makes sense, waste prevention, resource efficiency, sustainable production and consumption, only to name a few, some of which Lindsay already mentioned in his introduction before and is well mirrored in the project of Mauritius Sustainable Island. Next slide, please. What we are seeing now in many of the home countries of tourists that are traveling usually around the world to find out fantastic and beautiful destinations in the tourism world. In Europe, there is an idea spreading quickly that we need to transform the economy for a more sustainable future. Decisions are being made on the political level, pressure is being built on the level of civil societies, and new ideas are being generated, be it with regards to the climate neutral continent that Europe wants to be, with the transition to a healthy and environmentally friendly food system, with different options in mobility and circular economy and zero pollution in the way we do business. And many of these things are already happening on a small scale in Mauritius. A lot of work and effort has been put into this, into the different fields. Next slide, please. And by that, I see that the project has been following implicitly some of the pillars that the World Tourism Organization put forward already in 2013 and 14. so that there is policy and governance, there is trade, investment, and data that is being used. There are questions of employment and decent work that are being addressed. There are positive effects on poverty reduction and social inclusion. And of course, the main goal of sustainability and new and natural and cultural environment. Next slide, please. And the topics and fields of action that arise on the one hand from the discussion of sustainability on the political and societal level can be seen here, and that are also being adopted in the business world and in the tourism world. Many different fields of action, from the sustainable production field, from transparent and sustainable value chains, to citizen engagement, to more sustainable lifestyles, trade and transport innovation, and sustainable consumption patterns that can be shared with the tourists that visit destinations that are following a progressive agenda with regard to these things, are very important and opportunity-loaded fields that should be more explored and should be put in the midst of all our interests. Next slide, please. And this is happening in Mauritius. I took this graphic from a guidebook that was the result of a lot of the project work where challenges were being addressed on the island of Mauritius. And you can see already through the working together of the different actors and partners in the project that many solutions have been found and many solutions are being worked on. And it makes me really proud to be part of the team that enabled these solutions and that managed to cooperate with such great partners in the island itself. Next slide, please. So taking from the project results and great examples that I've seen in the past, I think there's a lot of opportunity to use what we all have learned in the project for a successful post-COVID-19 recovery, because it makes the destination that much more interesting and that much more important to its future visitors, what you have built here in the last 3 years. So the question of how even more opportunities with regard to sustainability can be seized, how they can be scaled and made more visible, and how partners can even be more motivated and maybe more partners being addressed in the process of, and this is an important mentioning, that sustainability is a process. It's nothing that is like a switch that you switch on or off. It is a lengthy process with lots of stakeholders involved. That the road you have been starting to walk in the last 3 years, it's worthwhile pursuing in the future as well. And I think there is a good future for tourism in Mauritius, based on the debates that you will have today as well. And I wish you all the best for it. And thank you very much for the work that has been done already. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Patrick, for the great opening or welcome to our participants. And before we move forward to the next, I would like to ask Darren, our project manager from MTA, from Mauritius Tourism Authority, to also welcome our participants.
Thanks, Katika. Not much to add, because I think Lindsay and Patrick, they have covered the lot of the introduction. Just a warm welcome to all the operators in Mauritius. I see from the attendees of today that a lot of you already know about the Sustainable Island Mauritius project. Others, they are welcome to this new project, for them. And of course, we would have liked to physically be present in a conference room or somewhere else on the beach and to make this happen, but unfortunately we can't right now. But let's seize this opportunity, right? I think that now with the new normal, we have all known how to be working back from home or on the Zoom or on Team. So let's take all the opportunity that we are getting during these 5 sessions and make the best of it. And of course, this is not the end. We will be having other sessions as follow-up with a few of the operators. So I really look forward to it. Thanks a lot, Katika and the team.
Thank you, Darren. Yes, I think we are all looking forward to continue working together, especially with you, our participants from Mauritius, in the next sessions, but also in the upcoming workshops.